So the first thing we want to do is get to work on our steaks. Now, I am doing a reverse sear on these steaks today, which basically means typically when you're cooking a steak, you'll sear it in a hot pan and maybe finish it in the oven. We're going to flip that on its head and start it in a really low oven and then finish it in the pan. It's one of my favorite ways to cook steak. You get a perfect cook pretty much every single time, which is a dream. So I have got two beautiful strip loin steaks here, just sitting out on a plate. Now, whenever you're doing a reverse sear method, you want to make sure that your steak is nice and thick. You want it to be at least an inch and a half. 2 inches is great. It can really be up to like 4 inches thick if you're doing one of those big boys. And it's going to be absolutely beautiful. It's going to cook through nice and evenly and be perfect. Now, the other thing you need to do before you even talk about heat at all is you want to take these steaks out of the fridge and let them sit at room temperature for about an hour or two. Sounds like a long time, but basically what that's going to do is it's going to take the chill of the fridge off and make sure it cooks nice and evenly. It's not going to be one of those steaks where your medium rare is kind of like well done, medium, rare in the middle, and then the opposite on the other side. It's going to be seared, beautiful medium rare all the way through. So I've got those steaks there doing their thing. They have been sitting out doing their thing, but now I'm just gonna transfer them onto a rack-lined sheet pan. Now, for reverse sear, you wanna use a rack-lined sheet pan because you want air going all the way around those steaks. So just pop those on over there. And then I'm gonna season those really, really well with some salt and pepper. Now, at this point, I like to go pretty heavy on my salt and pepper because most of this is gonna fall off either in the oven or in the pan when we're searing. So give it a good season. If you have a favorite kind of steak spice, nice salty steak spice, like a Montreal or something, feel free to do that. That would be beautiful. Get it seasoned up on both sides. Stunning. Now, if you had like a T-bone or a ribeye, those would also be absolutely beautiful. A good steak with good marbling is kind of my favorite for this method. All right, now what I'm gonna do is get these steaks, nothing else on them. Salt and pepper, no oil, no nothing. I'm gonna pop these into a 250-degree oven, which is the temperature you keep like pancakes warm at. Like it is not hot. So these are gonna go into a 250-degree oven for, oh wait, I lied. Don't listen to me yet. I lied to you. Guys, I gotta give you insurance. I used to work in insurance. I should know these things. We need a little bit of insurance. Whenever you're cooking steak in particular, this is a pricey cut of meat. I never wanna overcook it. If I bought it, I want it to turn out. So I suggest investing in a probe thermometer, a digital probe thermometer. So basically what you do with one of these is you stick that probe into one of those steaks, right into the center kind of, and then you put it in the oven. Don't do that later. This isn't one of those thermometers that you poke in to test the temperature. This is gonna tell you when that is cooked through, which is an absolute dream. So, gonna pop those right on into the oven at 250 degrees, and those should take, I'd say, usually, yeah, they're magnetic, very fancy. Those should take about 30 minutes to come up to the temperature we're looking for. Now, for medium rare, you're looking for 115 degrees, which, if anyone knows their temperatures, that's a blue steak. That is not a medium rare steak. But that's gonna bring it up to that temperature, then you bring it up to the 130, 135 when you're actually searing it. So that's gonna do its thing, but now we're gonna get to work on our delicious shrimp scampi stuffed potatoes. So back here, we have got some potatoes that I baked off earlier, looking absolutely beautiful. So I bake those at about, I'd say 400 degrees for about 45 minutes to an hour. Typically, when I'm baking a potato, I just kind of rub it with a little bit of oil, season it with salt and pepper, bake it until it's nice and fork tender, split those open. This is the biggest potato I've ever seen, and I'm very excited about it. And I'm gonna scoop out that flesh. I love a twice-baked potato. You get all of the flavor on the inside. When you're scooping that out, leave a little bit on the edges just to kind of give it a bit of shape and hold. This is a really nicely baked potato. Thank you, culinary team. Really good job, everybody. That is fantastic. All right, so this makes, to be honest, enough for 4 very hungry people, but I would honestly make these for 8, because everybody basically just needs a half, because they are very, very filling. So I've got the actual potato flesh in my bowl here, but now we're gonna get started on that shrimp scampi situation. So I've got a pan over here, over about medium-ish heat, and I'm gonna go into there with about a 1/4 cup of butter. Just regular butter is all you need. Shrimp scampi is essentially butter, a lot of garlic, some wine. Yeah, oh guys, get ready, there's more butter in this recipe. I'm very excited about it. So we have got a 1/4 cup of butter, so looking delicious. And then we're gonna go in with 4 cloves of garlic. So lots of garlic. This is a punchy, punchy recipe. Add that on in. Then I'm gonna go in with just a little bit of salt, Season it up with a little bit of pepper as well. And I just want that garlic to cook for about 30 seconds, not too long. I just want to cook off that raw garlic punch and let it do its thing. So already, if you go into a house and it smells like this, then you know you are in for a treat. This is a delicious smell. Now, I'm gonna add in my shrimp into all of this garlic butter. So we've got about 400 grams of raw shrimp that I've diced up here, just frozen, thawed under cold water, and then chop them up. Those are gonna go right on into that pan as well. Give that a nice stir. And then I'm gonna season that up with a little bit of chili flake. I like a little bit of heat in my shrimp scampi, so just about half a teaspoon of chili flakes right on in. Give that a stir. And this is kind of weird. Right now, you are gonna cook these shrimp for maybe about a minute. They're gonna cook up, get nice and pink, but we don't actually want them to cook all the way through because they're gonna finish cooking in the oven. So I'm gonna let those shrimp start doing their thing. While those do their thing, we're gonna add all the creamy dreaminess into this potato situation. Basically, when I'm making a twice-baked potato, I want things to kind of taste like mashed potatoes in a potato skin with shrimp in it. Very confusing. This is what happens in my mind when I wake up in the morning. I'm like, I want to eat 3 things at the same time. How can I make that happen? So I'm going to give these potatoes a little bit of a smash just to get them going. And then one of the things that I absolutely love in my mashed potatoes, and people who don't like cheese and shellfish, please turn away. I'm going in with half a cup of cream cheese. Cream cheese brings a really nice, obviously a little bit of sharpness, definite creaminess, really, really tasty, right on into those potatoes. Now, for a little bit more kind of creaminess, I'm going in with about half a cup of sour cream. Now, I don't actually put any kind of buttermilk or milk in these potatoes. That's a little bit too much liquid for what we're gonna add later. But this is gonna bring that creaminess and make it absolutely delicious. Also, lactose intolerance, please look away. This is also maybe not the dish for you. Season that up with some salt. I personally don't love pepper in my mashed potatoes, so I'm gonna leave that out. But you do you. Give that a good mash. And honestly, if you sat me down with this bowl, I'd be a happy camper. I'm in my potato era. I never won't be. I'm feeling very good about it. All right, that is looking absolutely stunning. I'm gonna go check on those shrimp. They're starting to just turn beautiful and pink. You see around the edges, they're getting that little bit of color. They're starting to get a little bit bouncy, which is absolutely perfect. So these are not fully cooked yet, but we are gonna remove them from the heat because again, they're gonna continue to cook in the oven in those potatoes. So just use a slotted spoon and just remove those shrimp from that heat. And then I'm gonna add in some of my favorite flavors that you also add in to that shrimp scampi, that classic shrimp scampi. So get those shrimps out. I have a group of friends that I call my shrimps. It's very exciting. We actually call each other our scramps, which is fun. Okay. All right, get those on out of there. Then into here, we are gonna go in with one of my favorite flavor boosters, and that is some white wine. Always a good thing. So I like a dry white wine for this, nice and fresh. Going with about, I'd say about half a cup of white wine. You want that to simmer down and cook down just until reduced by half. But to give this a little bit more sharpness as well, I'm gonna go in with the zest and juice of some lemon. So I'm gonna add in that lemon zest right on into the pan. That's gonna bring out those essential oils. It makes these potatoes taste not light, but lighter than they would, you know. We do have a 1/4 cup of butter, half a cup of sour cream, and half a cup of cream cheese in there. A little bit of lemon zest, tap that on in. A little bit of that lemon juice too will be absolutely beautiful. Squeeze that on in. And as you can see, that wine reduces relatively quickly, but you do want to reduce it down. If I were to add the wine right on into this potatoes, it would be a little bit too watery, but this is going to intensify the flavor, make it absolutely beautiful and perfect for those potatoes. So that's looking good. I am just going to chop up a few herbs to go into this mix, just to give a little bit of green, a little bit of health, you know. So I'm going to go in with about, I'd say 2 tablespoons of parsley, and if you watch this show, you know I never measure my herbs, and I in fact over measure my herbs, because that is not 2 tablespoons, but it's what's gonna go in today. So I've also got some chives here, but if you wanted, you could do this with tarragon would be really nice. Basil might be nice, but again, chives and parsley are an absolute classic. So just give those a nice rough chop. I'm gonna add in about half of that right on into those potatoes. Start giving those a good mash. And then I'm gonna go in, check it how much this has reduced. It's a little bit kind of blippy. The bubbles going on in this wine, they kind of hold their shape, almost like when you're making a pancake. That means it's reduced. It's a little bit thicker, a little bit syrupy. So that is absolutely perfect to go right on into those potatoes, just to bring that flavor of wine and lemon throughout, but not water them up too much. So that's gonna go right on in. I'm gonna go in with all of that garlic and those shrimp. Absolutely beautiful. And then we just get to start mixing this up. Get that masher out of here because he's done his job. Give this a good mix together. And then just like a classic baked potato, stuffed baked potato with the bacon and the cheese and everything like that, all you need to do is just stuff this into those skins. So just grab a little spoonful. I like to do quite a amount, I'm not gonna lie. Now, I have got these steaks in the pan. Now, they've been in about a 250-degree oven for about 30 minutes, just until their internal temperature reached 115. Now, for any like internal temperature heads, you know that that is not fully cooked through to medium rare. So this is the reverse searing. We start it in an oven and then we sear it in a pan. It smells amazing in here. It's looking like a rock and roll music video with all of this smoke, feeling good about it. But when it comes out of the oven, this is kind of what the steak looks like. It looks fine, it's kind of cooked, it's not looking amazing. Let me show you what the sear does. Give it a little bit of a flip in a hot pan. Look at that golden brown sear. Like, that's a stone cold stunner of a steak, if I do say so myself. You get that beautiful char on the outside, that beautiful crispiness, looking absolutely stunning. And it only takes about, I'd say, a minute or two per, steak. Just flipping it around whenever you think about it to get it up to that 130, 135 temperature. Now, if you have a steak that has a good fat cap on it, like these ones do, right along here, what you want to do is you want to make sure that some of the sear time is on that side. That's going to render out that fat and make it so it's nice and crispy and delicious, kind of like bacon, as opposed to like weird and like chewy, because that's not something we want. I live in a house where everybody really likes the like fat on the steak, so if I can make it nice, I'm gonna make it nice. All right, that's doing its thing. So real quick, in the last minute of cooking those steaks in that pan, I wanna give them a little bit of a baste with some garlic butter, because we already have all that garlic in the potatoes. Why not? So I've got a little bit of melted butter here. I'm just gonna go in with some garlic cloves that I've minced up. Now, typically if I'm butter basting, I'll chuck cold butter into the pan, add a whole clove of garlic in, but this makes things a little bit easier. Then you don't have to do that spooning and tossing and everything like that. I'm gonna go grab, oh wait, I got a spoon right here. We got the big spoon, don't worry about it. Give it a little bit of a mix. And then I'm just gonna start basting that steak with this beautiful butter. So just kind of pour that on top, rub that in. It's gonna melt through, that garlic's gonna cook just a little bit. To me, this looks amazing. I'm feeling really pumped about it. My one camera operator in front of me, this camera right here, Connor, he's just nodding the whole time. I think he's pretty pumped. He's got it right. It's very good. All right, I'm feeling really good about this. I do have a little probe thermometer here, and I'm just gonna check the internal temperature just to see where we're at. So we're at about 126, 120. Oh, we're coming up, we're almost there. So I'm gonna give it a flip to get some of that garlic butter on the other side. Like, see that beautiful sear? Ooh. Nothing makes me feel more like a successful caveman than making a good steak like this. All right, you smell that garlic butter? Oh gosh, I'm very excited. Okay, that is looking stunning. Now, my favorite thing about a reverse sear steak is you actually don't need to let it rest. Typically, when you make a steak, you need to set it aside, let it rest for a good 5-10 minutes until you can actually slice it. But since I've reverse seared this and slowly brought it up to temperature, that means that I can slice this immediately. Even with that hard sear right at the end, I can give this a slice. I am gonna really quickly go grab my baked potatoes because they're smelling amazing, but like, I can't stop looking at these. They're stunning, out of control. But real quick, gonna head back here. Not to show them up or anything, but we have these shrimp scampi stuffed potatoes that I broiled for the last minute or two just to give them a little bit of color on top. We've got that shrimp, it's perfectly cooked, that golden brown topping, that creamy center, absolute dream. So in my personal opinion, what you gotta do is we're gonna do a big serving. So we're gonna do 1 potato and a 2 potato on a plate. A little bit of some fresh parsley right on top, and then you can get into that beautiful steak. So give it a little bit of a slice. My favorite thing also about doing a thick cut of meat, I would serve 5 people with 2 steaks. No one will know. If you slice it first, they don't know how much steak they're getting. So give them a good slice right through that beautiful, look at that, perfect, medium rare, all the way through. I like to cut mine about a centimeter-ish thick, and it is literally like wall-to-wall stunning, that beautiful pink. None of that kind of medium well cooked, just perfect medium rare all the way through, and that crispy fat right on the edge. That, to me, is a stone cold stunner. Everyone in your house is gonna be happy.
Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.